I don't know. I couldn't fathom a guess. From my vantage point, I can see at least a dozen police officers. But on my way walking in, there were a number of officers that I walked by. So I couldn't guess on how many officers. As far as the protesters, when we walked up right before all of this happened, it looked like this entire square was packed. I don't believe that any of the protesters have left. It just looks like they pushed further back into the crowd. But if you see the size of the square, it was completely full, and now it's just spreading out around the building. So this is a very sizable crowd.
Do you also, Kyung, have a sense of what the schedule for this evening was, when this speech was supposed to take place, how long this demonstration had been going on for?
The demonstration started at about an hour and 15 minutes ago. That's when we first saw the crowd beginning to form. The speaker wasn't scheduled to speak until there's still at least an hour and 40 minutes before he was set to speak. The doors had not yet opened. We did see some of the student leaders who had organized and invited him to this event go in. But as far as I know, much of this building was completely empty except for the police department, for the officers who were here. I'm hearing... Okay, we're hearing an announcement. The police are asking everyone to disperse.
They're saying if you do not disperse...
Yes, they're trying to get the crowds to disperse.
Right, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, you see the police officer there giving that announcement over a loudspeaker or a bullhorn, trying to get people to disperse, warning them that if they do not disperse, they risk being arrested. That's now another vantage point from...
Anderson,
Kyung, I don't know that...
I don't see anyone moving.
Yeah, Kyung, the university has just announced over Twitter that the speech has been canceled. I'm not sure you know that. We just heard that. The University of Berkeley has announced that this speech has been canceled over their Twitter account. We'll see if that word is given to those protesters, and obviously those protesters will certainly see that as some form of a victory, though, again, the counter-argument to that is an acceptance of free speech and desire to hear different viewpoints on a college campus. But we've seen a number of these sorts of protests, particularly around this particular speaker. There's clearly a police presence there on that balcony where they are able to get a kind of an overview of the crowd and kind of survey the crowd as we continue to watch these images. I just want to bring in Jeffrey Lord. Jeffrey, certainly we have seen protests like this in America's past. It is jarring to see protesters with pre-made shields and dressed all in black, sort of in this organized fashion, trying to stop somebody from speaking.
The first thing that popped into my mind when I saw this, speaking of Ronald Reagan, when he was governor of California, he sent the National Guard into this very university because of what they called the free speech movement of the day. They'd taken over a park that I think was supposed to be made into dormitories, and they wanted to declare it a free open space. In other words, in essence, stealing property from the university. Governor Reagan was angry. He sent the National Guard in. I believe there was a student killed in all of this. So, in other words, this university has a history of doing this kind of thing, right? I mean, it's very far to the left. But to your point, whether it's Milo, who, by the way, is also Jewish and gay, or anyone else, they should have a free speech right to stand in a university of all places and express their point of view without this kind of thing happening. And this is a serious problem that's afflicted, I think, from my point of view, the American left for decades. This is part of their DNA. It's not good. You see this behavior right now. It's self-explanatory. It's terrible.
The other question is, who does it actually help here? For somebody like the speaker, this kind of attention, frankly, just emboldens him.
No question.
Right. He now has a book deal.
Right.
Probably more well known with each of these passing protests.
That's right. And I should say, I don't know him. I've been on his radio show to discuss the issues of the day during the campaign. And he styles himself, I think, as a bit of a provocateur.
I think more than a little bit of a provocateur. Yes.
But all of that is fine. And protesting, let me emphasize, peaceful protests of Milo or anyone else are perfectly fine. But when you see this is frankly Nazi-style behavior, where they're smashing things and trying to shut people down, and there's violence. This has no place in American life, period, under any circumstances. I don't care who the speaker is.
It is interesting, Kyung. I mean, this is certainly a campus which, over the decades has seen large numbers of demonstrations, has seen, as Jeffrey was talking about, violence in some cases, but